So, you've got a dog here in Washington, Pennsylvania, and you know just how much a well-behaved pup can make life better. We're going to walk through a really straightforward, practical guide to help you find the absolute best trainer for your dog. Here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with what it's like to have a dog right here in Washington. Then we'll talk about your training goals and the different types of programs. After that, we'll get into how to spot a qualified pro, what to expect for costs, and finally, some local rules and resources to help you out. All right, first things first, let's talk about our town, because owning a dog right here in Washington has its own unique flavor. I mean, think about it. One day you might be navigating the crowds during a festival on Main Street, and the next you're walking past the busy college campus. The goal here is to have a dog that's just easy. A dog that can handle a stroll through our historic neighborhoods or just chill with you at a local spot without any stress. Okay, so before you even open a search tab for trainers, let's figure out what you're actually trying to accomplish. It's all about knowing your goals and what your specific dog needs. Now, you're going to hear this term a lot, positive reinforcement. And really, all it means is using rewards, treats, praise, toys, to encourage the behaviors you want. It's humane, it's incredibly effective, and honestly, it just builds a way better, more trusting relationship with your dog. You'll also need to pick a training format. Group classes? They're fantastic for getting your dog to focus around other dogs and people. But if you're dealing with issues at home, like your dog going bonkers when the doorbell rings, then private lessons are probably your best bet. And then there's a third option, board and train programs. This is where your dog stays with a trainer for some really intensive work. If you go this route, you have to make sure they're using positive methods and, this is key, that they're going to teach you how to keep up the training when your dog comes back home. So, you know what you need. Now for the big question. How do you actually find the right person for the job? Certifications are a really good place to start. All these letters might look like alphabet soup, but they mean a trainer has actually passed tests and has to keep up with their education. Something like CPDT-KA is a great all-around certification. And if you're dealing with bigger issues like serious fear or aggression, you want to look for a specialist with a credential like CBCC-KA. This quote really says it all. Any trainer that talks about using fear, pain, or intimidation, that's a huge red flag. Humane methods just work better long-term, and they make sure your dog is a safe and happy member of our whole community. All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, money, and what you need to ask before you hire anybody. To give you a ballpark idea of costs here in the Washington County area, a full set of puppy classes might run you somewhere between $140 and $250. A single private lesson usually lands between $100 and $175. And of course, those intensive board and train programs are a much bigger investment. This should at least help you set a realistic budget. When you're talking to a trainer, think of it like a little interview. You definitely want to ask what methods they use and what their credentials are, but also ask them how they'll tailor the plan specifically for your dog. Getting clear answers on how they track progress and what all the costs are will help you make a really solid decision. And finally, let's wrap up with some important local info. This is all about being a great dog owner and a good neighbor here in Washington County. Here's a simple but super important rule to remember. 6 feet. That's the required leash length in all our public spaces. It's not just a friendly suggestion, it's the law. And it helps keep everyone safe and comfortable, whether you're walking downtown or through a park. And a few other quick reminders. A current rabies vaccine is required by state law. You also need to have your dog licensed right here in Washington County. And keep in mind that nonstop barking can actually become a nuisance violation. So that's another good reason to work on it in training. So once you start training, where can you go to practice? Well, the paths at Washington Park are great for working on those leash manners around other people. Linden Park has some nice open areas for practicing recall, and the trails over at Mingo Creek are just perfect for building focus out in nature. So there you have it. With a solid plan, you're really setting your dog and yourself up for success. Just picture it, confidently walking through the Whiskey Rebellion Festival, enjoying a nice afternoon at the park, or just having a peaceful walk around your own neighborhood. A well-behaved dog just opens up so many more ways to enjoy everything our great town has to offer.